Hey, good morning, Tommy.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
All right. Oh, wow, look at all this progress, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So we are fully excavated. Looks like the concrete footings are in place, and you're starting to build up the forms, but not traditional forms in this case.
Not traditional forms. A traditional form is usually made out of wood or metal, and they stand a panel up on the outside, one on the inside. They connect it with these bars that go across. Then they pour the concrete. Once it's set up, they strip everything down and clean it up.
So you got to put it up, you got to take it down.
Well, we're using something a little bit different. This is called an ICF.
Sure, yeah.
Insulated concrete form system. Once this goes in place, it stays there forever.
So you don't have to strip anything down, and you love these things, right? I mean, this is the big piece of insulation right here, sort of the same material that you'd see in a coffee cup or a beer cooler.
Right, this is polystyrene. It's a great insulator.
Yep.
And like I say, it'll stay here forever.
All right, well, they're putting them in place right now, so let's have a closer look.
Sure, let's take a walk down. Kevin, you remember Kent Rustwick? He helped us on a couple of other projects with the foundation.
I do. Good to see you again, Kent.
You too.
You're making some good progress down here. So what is the process for you in assembling all these things?
Well, we're going to put some forms together today.
Oh, you're actually putting them together piece by piece, huh?
That's right. We're going to use a web. They're a 10-inch web, so we have a 10-inch space between the two forms when we assemble them.
Look at that. So it's a piece of plastic. It's pretty rigid. And when you say 10-inch, can you choose different sizes so that you can make this wall thicker or narrower?
We can. We have 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12-inch core thicknesses standard.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is just snapping into place?
They snap into place because we don't want the forms moving or shifting while we're casting them.
I got to tell you, even though I've seen it before, when I hear that a piece of plastic and some foam is going to get filled up with all this concrete and stay together, it's a little implausible. I mean, how is that possible?
Well, they're designed to carry 600 pounds at chest height when we're casting concrete into them.
And that's obviously more than the concrete weighs going in.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll find out in a few minutes, won't we?
They're pretty strong.
All right. So you snap those all together, and then you've got yourself what? An individual, what do you call this?
This is a form.
Form,
We
okay.
refer to it, yeah.
How are we affixing the form to our concrete footing right here?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is cast a footing that's perfectly plumb and level, because we don't want this thing to shift and move. So we'll do that, and then we'll snap lines on it just like a standard footing you'd do, and then we're going to use an adhesive. And once we've assembled them in place and we've set them to the line, we're going to take the adhesive and then just put a bead right along here.
That's all it takes, huh?
That's all it takes.
So that's not actually stopping us from shifting or kicking when the weight's in there. That's just to hold it in place so your plumb was set up?
That's correct. We
Gotcha.
don't want them to move, and they don't want to move. Right? They don't want to shift around on the footing.
Right. So that gets us to the footing, and then when you attach one form panel to another one, are you using adhesive for that as well?
We can, and we do. We're trying to keep them from floating, and that's usually at the top where we see that occurring.
So it's just a bead right down here?
Right down there.
Gotcha.
A bead right on either side, and then we'll just snap them together.
Yeah, and if you look underneath, it's actually a male and a female joint. So when you push these panels together, they lock together. You want to make sure you line up these plastic ties right here. All right, so now
And look at that, even without the adhesive, it already wants to stay
it
together.
locks in. But if you look right here in the form, you see these X's. If I scrape that away, dig down in, you can actually see that plastic tie right there.
Yeah.
If you want to screw sheeting on the outside of the wall to put plywood to it, you screw right into that plastic tie.
Nice.
So there's no wood out there.
Well, how about on the inside? If we wanted to finish off this basement, do we have to put up studs or no?
No studs needed, no wood on the walls. You can screw your drywall right into there.
Wow, that is great.
Yeah.
Okay. So we build them, we start to put the adhesive down, and then we snap them together and we go all the way up, which is what you've done pretty much all the way around.
Yeah.
And you're still going.
That's right. So Kevin, remember we broke this foundation away here, and all this stone right in here was a lot of a loose spot. So I had Mark McCullough, our mason, come in and tighten a lot of this up.
Yeah, tight but still irregular. So can't you describe this piece to the wall there?
We did. We described it here, and then we cut it with a jigsaw.
Okay, that's a pretty good fit right there. When you got a little piece just for this gap.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, that looks good.
We'll just keep scribing them all the way up till we get to the top.
Beautiful. Now, I notice the steel's going in. Where is that going and how much are you using?
Well, we're using one every course, so there's 8 courses of steel. We've offset them all the way up through the forms so that when we drop the verticals down, it will hold the verticals in place in the center of the forms.
Wow, every row and verticals. That's a lot of steel, Tommy.
Usually you'll see 2 pieces of steel across the bottom and maybe 2 across the top. That's all code requires. But
Right.
this is a lot more steel, so it adds a lot of strength.
What are you working on there, Tommy?
Well, we want to have access to electricity outside, so rather than drill the concrete, we're going to put a couple of sleeves in so we can run the wire through.
Tommy, what do you know about the mix?
So what they're pumping in there is a 3,000 pound mix, 3,000 PSIs, with a 3/4 inch stone coming through a 4-inch hole.
And then in terms of this pour, Ken, how does it differ from a traditional form?
Well, we're going to place it in 4-foot lifts with the pump truck right in place instead of letting it flow through the forms. We're consolidating it with a vibrator to take all the air voids and make it flow around all the obstructions in the forms.
And by 4-foot lifts, you mean you'll do 4 feet high around the entire perimeter and then start again and do it?
That's correct.
That gives it a little bit of time for it to settle in, then you can come back here, less chance of blowout.
That's right. It's going to give the concrete time to set up a little bit.
All right, so now that the foundation is poured, the next step will be to remove all the wood and all the debris down below. Then they'll waterproof the foundation from the grade down. Above the waterproofing, they'll put a primer on it. And that primer will accept a stucco, and the stucco detail will match what's up on the house.
And then in terms of R value, what are we getting out of this system?
Well, interesting, this is an R25, but think of it. When you build a concrete foundation, you pour it, the building code only requires that you insulate it from the grade down.
Not above it?
Not above it.
That's where you need the insulation.
Exactly. So now this is insulated not only on the outside, but the inside. So it's insulated to an R25 and it's airtight.
And all the way up, perfect. And then Kent, how long until we can backfill this?
We'd like to see you wait a week.
Wait a week, all right. Well, we can do that. Looks great already, so we appreciate you and your guys' help.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.